Welcome back to the dojo, everybody. This is True Talk with TRUMOTION, where a couple of guys talk about how to make the world a better place and hopefully make your day a little bit better in the process. My name is Mark, followed by my co-host Stephen.
Hey there, everyone.
All right, well, let's get this show on the road.
Yep.
So, we always like to do our weekly recap. So, how's your week been?
It's been all right.
Yeah?
Yep. Another week, another battle, another mission accomplished kind of deal.
There you go. That's all you can really ask for, right?
That's all we can do.
Yeah, I've had a busy week, so to speak.
You have?
Yeah. Tuesday, we did our fishing, and then we went up to Fort Douglas to
You raided the army.
raided the army.
We can't say that though.
No, well, they were getting rid of training equipment, so they allowed us to come and take like old heavy bags and stuff that they were going to throw away. Yeah, we're going to use it. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun going up there, seeing all the history. Apparently, I was unaware of this, but Fort Douglas was built during the Lincoln presidency.
Whoa.
So I was like, holy smokes. Okay.
That's interesting.
And they have this like horseshoe style corridor where it's surrounded by, I'm assuming barracks at the time, but now they're office like buildings or were office buildings. They're going to be turned back into dorms or barracks, so to speak. And in the middle, they have this barn, and that's where they would stable the war horses.
Wow.
And that's considered a historical landmark, so they can't tear it down. Because I was like, man, are they going to tear this place down? That sucks. Like, but no, they're not. They're just going to refurbish
Are there
it.
still horses in the stables?
I don't think so. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool if there were.
Yeah, there should still be a cavalry division, but now it's armored cavalry.
Yeah, now they have big tanks and mechanical horses.
Horsepower.
I was going to say they still have horsepower.
That's right.
Just not horses. So that was fun. Then Wednesday, I was driving back and forth from the airport, picking up and dropping off family members.
Yeah, you have a side job as a chauffeur, right?
Kind of right now, yeah. My aunt from Arizona is in town, and my dad flew out to Alabama to go see his sister and his dad. Grandpa's 101 years old and still kicking, so hopefully he has a good time. See him I think he's staying out there for about 2 weeks, so yeah. And then yesterday was kind of a normal-ish day, so.
No way, we have those?
Yeah, I had to work out with Master Lenton and then getting ready for Adult Ninja Night tomorrow night. So that'll be fun. Tomorrow, we've got a beginning test. I'm going to go to the range with Donovan, Sergeant Lucas, and then go to Ninja Night. So
that sounds like a busy day for you.
Yeah, then hopefully we can do nothing Sunday.
There you go.
So yeah.
I'm going to the range on Sunday.
Oh, are you? Are you going outside range or indoor range?
Nice. Out to the Wild West out there.
Yeah. Do you like to go out like in Grantsville or?
Outside of Eagle Mountain.
Okay.
At the recreational area. And
yeah, that's right. You're allowed to shoot out there, huh? Well, obviously.
Haven't been stopped yet.
Yeah, clearly. So that's cool. All right. You just going to take your family or?
No, I'm going with friends.
Oh, going with friends?
Yeah, I've got my friends bought some steel targets. We're going to break them in.
Oh, well, do you want to take ours? Go ahead.
I've thought about it.
No, might as well. It's just kind of sitting back there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but cool. That'll be fun. Yeah, I'm just going in to zero in some stuff.
That's
nice. Haven't done it. I'm like,
always good when your accuracy is
when
on point.
When the dot is
when you're on target here.
What your dot's on.
Yeah, when you just point the red dot on what you want to destroy. And
and there it goes. As opposed to like, why did nothing happen?
Mm-hmm.
So that should be fun. But all right. Well, let's keep this show moving and let's move on to our Liam's Facts. All right. So last week's question was, in what year was the iPhone created / invented? I don't want to really say invented because it's a cell phone. It's like the cell phone wasn't invented.
Well, it's a combination of the iPod and the cell phone.
Yeah. So when was the iPhone produced to the public or released to the public? It sounds like we're like releasing it into the wild.
Yeah, well, kind of is.
It was, nobody got the answer right.
What?
They were very close. A lot of people were very close. Master Lessons was a year off, but very close. It was 2007.
2007.
In 2007 was when the first iPhone was released to the public.
Wow.
So, very interesting.
Very
it's almost
interesting.
been 20 years. And it's crazy to see the first iPhone and the now iPhones, the iPhone 30,000 plus, whatever, Max, Pro.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild to think, wow, these were like cutting edge 20 years ago.
It's bigger and smaller at the same time.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. So, but all right, this week's question, we kind of hinted at it last week, and Kyle has actually already answered the question, but
told
him he still has to listen, and
we need Kyle's username so we can call him out whenever he comments.
Exactly. So, we talked about it last week. What does DC stand for in DC Comics?
Whoa, okay.
And interestingly enough, I was watching a video, and they actually said it.
They actually said it?
So I was like, is that really what it means? And then I Googled it, and it's like, that was correct. So, once again, the question is, what does DC stand for in DC Comics?
DC Comics.
Yes.
What does it stand for?
Put your answer in the comments down below or email us at TrueTalkTuesdays@gmail.com. Also, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button.
That's right.
Share the show. Share the show with your friends.
With your enemies.
With your enemies.
With your family. Maybe they're all the same. Who knows?
Yeah. Share it with everybody. Tell everybody. Because, again, we're trying to build better people.
That's
and
right.
hopefully we have fun in the process.
That's right.
Because if you can't have fun while you're doing it, it's not it's hard to do sometimes.
It can get a little stale.
Yeah, exactly. But moving on with our show, from a word from our sponsor.
Yeah. TRUMOTION in motion, let's go. Gear up, stand tall, feel the flow. Kicking it strong with the best of the best. Streetwear fresh, put your style to the test. Karate vibes, yeah, we bring that heat. From tees to hoodies, keep it sharp, keep it sleek. T-shirt or hoodie, we got both. Subs for the grind, focus on growth. Stickers and swag, let the world know you rep style. Now let's go. TRUMOTION merch, yeah, we level up. Style so sharp, got that warrior's touch. Reppin' that swag, flex it, wear it proud. Support True Talks and wear it loud. Discipline, power, the heart of the fight. Your fit's gotta match your unstoppable might. Tigers and dragons, bold on the sleeve. Step in the dojo, they know you don't leave. Oh, step up, don't wait. Rock that fit, let's elevate. TRUMOTION merch, yeah, we level up. Style so sharp, got that warrior's touch. Rocking that drip, yeah, you own the crowd. Support True Talks and wear it loud. Yeah, we reppin' strong, no fear, no doubt. TRUMOTION merch shop is what it's all about.
Thank you, sponsor.
Thanks, sponsor.
Make sure you go onto the merch store, pick up some stuff, support the dojo. Yeah, again,
Get some cool shirts while you're at
it.
it.
Shirts. It's summertime.
Polos.
Get some tanks.
Get some muscle shirts.
That's right.
Show off your guns.
We had old shirts that would, the whole sun's out, guns out.
Mm-hmm.
I heard one the other day, and it's for shorts. It's lights out, thighs out. And I was like, that's interesting.
That's a stretch.
Yeah, but
maybe it's the pants.
It was for like men's shorts, because I don't know where this trend has come from. Maybe you guys can tell me. Kind of side tangent on like the sponsor, but like men's shorts are getting like shorter and shorter and shorter.
They used to be really short. They used to be really short, then they got long, and now they're going back to short.
I know. I remember like back in the day in the like NBA, they were like basically booty shorts, and you're just like, whoa.
Yep.
These dudes are damn near running around naked. Mm-hmm. Then they went really long, baggy past the knees. Then they're starting to creep back up. It's like, man, I don't get it. Just, well, whatever. It's whatever's comfortable for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all that really matters.
Choice.
It's choice. Have choices.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to our top 5. All right, this week's top 5. I kind of just thought of it because I'm a junior. Mark is junior. My dad's a senior.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
I was like, I don't know if we've
I'm
ever
first in my
had.
name.
Yep, you're Stephen, or no, actually not Stephen.
I'm Stephen.
Sort of.
That's what they need to know.
That's
I'm
right.
First of my name.
First of your
There's
name.
no others like me.
There really are no others like you.
That's right.
That's true. But I don't think we've ever done a top 5 juniors.
Juniors. People of history and present and past that have the same name as their parent.
As their father.
Oh.
Or parent.
I discovered that there can be female juniors.
Yes, where they could either be named after their mother or their father.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of a junior that's been named after their mother, though.
Interesting.
Which there are a lot of like unisex style names like Wyatt or Riley. Like that could go either way. So that'd be interesting if there was a mother named Wyatt and they named their son Wyatt and he'd be Wyatt Jr. after his mother.
That'd be interesting.
That would be very interesting.
Do you know any juniors like this?
Do you know any female juniors?
That would be very fascinating.
Not only female juniors or male juniors named after their mother.
I feel like it's easy to loop men in under a single name.
Yeah.
Like you call them, like the wife calls out, like, "Oh, Mark," and then like you get 2 answers.
Yeah.
It's like one son, one's the husband.
Yeah.
But I don't think women will ever do that.
I don't think so either.
I think it's just personality.
Yeah, and well, they're obviously a little bit smarter than men sometimes.
This is true. This is true.
So it's like I just have to holler one thing and I get multiple responses.
That's right.
Efficient.
That's right.
So, but yeah, that actually happens a lot
Very
when
smart.
like my dad and I are together. Somebody will yell Mark, and it's like you get 2 answers. So, little side story: my family, my grandpa, actually my mom's dad, just started calling me JR for Junior. Whoa. So, everybody in my family knows JR is me, but yet outside of my family, people are like, "Who's JR?" And I'm like, "That's me." Just so it kept things easy when people were like together and they're like Mark, and not 4 people answered. So, not saying that there were 4 people named Mark, but yeah. So, who do you got for your top 5 juniors?
Well, it's interesting because you have people who have junior in the name.
Yes.
And that are referred to as junior.
Yes.
We have a few of those on my list. And then we also have people who are juniors but don't have it in their name.
Yes.
And that's
There's a lot more than I thought there were.
Yeah. So I have a couple 3rd generations.
Okay, yeah.
Whose parents and grandparents, or whose father and grandfather had the same name. 2 of them, Marshall Mathers, Eminem, he's a 3rd generation.
Oh yeah, Marshall Mathers III.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. That's
and
a
then
good one.
Robert Griffin III from football.
Robert Griffin III.
RG3.
RG3.
And then let's go into the juniors. So I've got Robert Downey Jr.
Yep.
Good actor. Got Mark Diaz Jr.
Yay, me.
Wow. Imagine that.
What?
Snoop Dogg.
Yep.
His real name. He's the clone of his father's name.
It is a difficult name.
That's why
to
I just
say.
used the name everyone knows.
Yeah.
MLK Jr.
Yep. Martin Luther King.
Roy Jones Jr.
Did you watch some highlights of his?
I haven't seen him recently.
Oh man, you should totally watch some boxing.
He is on a hot streak recently.
No, he retired.
Yeah.
But phenomenal boxer. Oh my gosh, he was good.
Okay.
Everybody talks about Floyd Mayweather, which is a junior, and Mike Tyson. I believe Roy Jones Jr. is a combination of Tyson and Ali.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's very quick. He's got the head movement, fast, kind of cocky, but he's got power behind him.
Well, I don't know anything about boxing. I thought he was still boxing.
No, he's retired.
He's long since hung up the gloves.
Long since hung up the gloves.
Okay, and then honorable mention, I've got Lil Wayne.
Yes,
and I think that'd be funny because I don't remember his full name, but I think just call his dad Wayne and then Lil Wayne.
Yeah, it makes sense.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. No, what was his name? It was like Michael Carter Williams the third or something. Yeah. Yeah, but Lil Wayne's a junior.
Yep.
That's cool. All right, that's a good list.
That's pretty good.
So honorable mentions for me. I've got Floyd Mayweather Jr., Sammy Davis Jr.,
Okay.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.,
That's another one.
and Hank Williams Jr.
Okay.
So, and I almost put this person on there. There's an old football player named Junior Seau. But if we're going by the category or the structure of the top 5, he's not a junior.
Right. He just has it in the name. His name is Junior.
His name is Junior, and it's not JR. It's spelled out Junior. So I obviously did not put him on the list. But for my top 5, I've got obviously Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man. Can't really beat that. Ken Griffey Jr., arguably one of the best hitters in baseball ever. I don't care what anybody says. He has got the prettiest baseball swing you could ever see in your entire life. Even now, you're just like, damn, that's a good-looking swing. And he made it look effortless. Hit the ball like 600 feet and just like, very smooth. Roy Jones Jr., phenomenal boxer. We've already talked about him. Martin Luther King Jr., obviously, it's a pretty important figure in history.
Yeah.
So
historical junior.
Yep, historical junior. And for last, to round it off, I've got Cal Ripken Jr.
Ooh. Okay.
Cal Ripken Jr. is considered the Iron Man of baseball. He broke Lou Gehrig's consecutive game streak. Man, it's something like almost 2,200 games in a row. And the average Major League Baseball season is 162 games. So you can do the math. It was something like 18 seasons without taking a single game off. And, in the landscape of sports nowadays, they have this load management where it's like, oh, you've played too much. We need to give you a rest.
To take a rest.
Yeah. It's like, that's what the off season's called. But I digress.
I thought about this a little bit more last night about like how deep you could go into the juniors, because there was a period of history where all the kings in Europe named their children the same. And so we had like thirds and fourths that were kings.
Yep. Like Henry the Eighth. Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Or what was Richard the Lionheart? What was
I don't remember.
I don't know if he was a
specifically,
junior or not.
but
I agree. But
I'm like, that could have counted. There's a lot, but
or even like Egyptian Ramses the Second. It's like, okay,
it's like you name your prodigy
after your
progeny.
Yes,
the same as you.
Could have really dived down into it.
Could have been a lot more
biblical times too.
Yeah.
So, but let us know what your top juniors are, if you know any.
Are you a junior?
Yeah. Are you a junior? Obviously, I am. I can say I am.
I am not.
So that's okay. It wasn't. I didn't mind, but like,
I don't think you had much of a choice.
No, but I know some people are like, oh, no, it's fine.
I got roasted by my parents because they called me the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, but no, it was good. Just got a little confusing when we got older and we started getting mail. And it's like, well, whose is this?
Oh, no.
Because it would just say, sometimes it would be mine, but it wouldn't have junior at the end. So I always put junior at the end of all my stuff. So, All right, but moving on to our Ask a Sensei. All right, this week we got some pretty fun questions. Some ones you got to think about or think about. But I thought they'd be fun to talk about. First question, have you ever seen a ghost and where?
What?
Or have you ever like seen or done anything or something happen that you just can't explain?
I deny spirits. I haven't seen a ghost.
I don't think I've necessarily seen one either, but
I know there are forces that,
that
but those are like good and evil forces, right?
Yeah.
And so things like premonitions and whatnot, ghost is just a term that we use to explain something that we don't understand entirely.
Yeah, I've always seen like sometimes you'll feel like you see a shadow that walks past you, and it's like
you get an uneasy feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
Or if like you're just standing here and all of a sudden it's like something moves. I don't probably the strangest situation I feel like I've ever seen or like firsthand knowledge of was at the old dojo.
Right. And we had a dojo ghost.
We had a dojo.
It was never around when I was there.
Yes, there was one day I was in the office. I was doing I don't even know. I can't remember what I was doing because this situation just overrided everything that was going on. It was probably early afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's just me in the dojo at the time. It may have been like on a Saturday after, I don't even remember. But I didn't have any lessons going on. And all of a sudden I hear this like knocking sound where it's like somebody was knocking on the door. And I was like, I'm looking around. Obviously the office door is open, so nobody's knocking on that. And it's pretty consistent. Then it starts getting louder. And then I start looking into the dojo through the window and nobody's there. So I was all like, God, that's weird. And then it's like I walk into the middle of the dojo and it's like I notice that it's like coming from the ladder where we had a loft and you take a ladder up, and the ladder is made out of wood. And every now and then, like a big semi truck or a big dumpster, like just a big vehicle would drive past.
You were bordering a very busy road.
Yeah, would drive on Bangor Highway, which the back of the dojo was basically on top of effectively, and that would cause the building to vibrate. And it would make the ladder vibrate. So it's like, okay, I recognize the sound, but this was consistent for like 2 or 3 minutes. Then all of a sudden I'm like walking out there and I'm like, okay, that sounds like the ladder. That's weird. So I was just all like, okay, this is all right. But then it like keeps going and it's like starting to get louder. And I was like, hey, knock that off. And it stopped instantly. And I was like, oh, turned around, went right back in my office and shut the door. It's like, that's going to stop anything.
Right.
But it's very weird. Every now and then just certain things happen that I just, you really can't explain. I've never like, quote unquote, seen like an apparition, like how they call them or whatever, like this. I've never seen anything like distinct like that before. I think it'd be pretty cool. I think I might shit myself, but
I don't have a good tolerance for like horror and supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like for me, it's definitely something that I don't seek out.
Yeah. No, you're not like, I really want to see that.
I'm gonna go ghost hunting.
We went on a ghost tour on the Queen Mary.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. It's kind of lame.
Kind of lame?
No, nothing really.
Did you see the people behind the scenes going, ooh, making things move?
No, nothing happened.
Nothing moved?
Nothing did anything.
No, the ghosts have unionized, I think.
Apparently.
They're not going to work unless they have enough souls or something.
Yeah, they just wanted to take the day afternoon off. Yeah. They did say that there was a suite on the Queen Mary. For those of you guys that know what the Queen Mary is, it's a old cruise liner that acted as a transport vessel for World War II. So, and it was the fastest ship at the time. Like nobody could catch it, which is crazy to think about. So it could transport massive amounts of troops from, America to Europe. And Winston Churchill frequently rode on the Queen Mary, and he had his own suite to where, he did his thing and this and that. And obviously, Winston Churchill loved cigars, and he would constantly be smoking cigars on the Queen Mary. And then there's been stories that every now and then you'll get this heavy cigar smoke smell, and nobody's in there. So,
whoa,
kind of creepy.
Smoke and
mirrors.
Smoke and mirrors.
Yep, smoke and mirrors. But let us know if you guys have had any ghost stories or things that happen. They're just like, I don't know what's going on here. So
I can't explain this.
Did you ever watch that show Unsolved Mysteries as a kid? That show was the creepiest, scariest TV show on the planet.
So I got nightmares. This is like I watched.
I don't doubt
things.
It.
Too young, way too young, watching spooky things, and I'm like, no thanks.
You're like, this sucks. I don't like it.
No thanks.
And I don't know if it was a combination of the music or the dude narrating it. Everything sounded scary. Or America's Most Wanted.
Oh, yeah. America's Most Wanted? Scary.
Yeah, because real people.
Yeah.
Like horrible things. And you're like, hey, he might be in your area. And you're like, God, lock the door, shut the windows.
Don't say that.
Yeah. I mean, it probably did serve a purpose, and it did catch a lot of people. But as like a young adolescent, it was scary as hell. As a younger person,
it's not something you should watch.
No, and I don't ever think it was intended for.
And then you get kids in the dojo saying like, "Oh, I watched this and this and this and this," and just horror movie after horror movie. I'm like, what is going on?
Like I watch it. Why?
Why?
Okay. I like horror movies. I think they're fun. I don't get too scared. I get irritated sometimes when I'm watching them because you're like,
you're so dumb. You as the human here are just
There's this thing called natural selection, unfortunately. Like, did you ever see that Geico commercial where it's like if you're ever stuck in a horror movie and it's
don't hide behind the chainsaws?
Yeah. It's these group of kids are like, we should go back in the house. They're like, no. And then one's like, why don't we just get in the running car? They're like, that's crazy. Let's hide behind this wall of chainsaws. And it's like, but you see that crap all the time in horror movies. Or it's like, oh, when you stab them, keep stabbing them until you feel no pulse.
Right.
Not just like, oh, one, oh, they're dead. Oh, then you turn out, oh, they're gone. No, they're gone. Yeah.
There should be a movie where it's like a bunch of martial artists on like a camp out. There's a horror movie. There's a horror character coming in, and the horror character just gets the crap beat out of him.
Yeah, that movie would last 30 minutes, and 25 of it
First
would
thing,
be...
we're all going to stay together in the center room. Okay, we're going to have 2 sources of power just in case one gets cut.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, look, here he comes.
All right, everybody surround him.
Knife defense.
Yeah, it's
Kick
crazy.
him in the groin.
Well, a scary movie, the comedy, the parody, they kind of poke fun at that.
Yeah.
Did you ever? I know you're not into horror movies.
I've not seen scary movies.
There's the Scream franchise. The very first movie, man, the killer just gets the crap beat out of him. Like, just hits with everything, and it keeps going.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of like poke fun at that, and it's like they hit this villain with everything, then, and then it starts running up the stairs, and the person starts throwing everything at it, and it's like, yeah,
it's just sitting there.
And it hits him. He gets back up. He walks up, hits him again, walks back up, goes back.
I think I might have gotten a clip of that scene.
Yeah, and then they roll a piano down. It's like, and it runs down the stairs because it doesn't want to get hit by that. Yeah, it's wild.
I saw recently Tucker and Dale vs. Evil.
That God,
such a good movie.
If you guys have never seen Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, it is the epitome of like funny comedy because it has this horror movie feel.
You feel like it's horror movie.
And they think that Tucker and Dale are the villains, the killers, but these kids, I say kids, like young adults, are running around. They end up killing themselves. And then it's like, I don't know what's going on. All these kids are killing themselves. It's horrible. It's it's really funny. Definitely recommend watching Tucker and Dale versus Evil. But all right, moving on to our next question. All right, what's something you will never do again?
What?
Yeah, have you ever done something you're like, okay, I did it, I'm never going to do that again?
I don't know. I mean, there's things you can do that are like bad decisions.
Yeah.
You know? There's things that are like bad outcomes of regular decisions.
Yeah.
So you have to determine between the two, right?
And it could go either way.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the one that instantly popped into my head, and Shannon and I have talked about this multiple times, it's like marriage.
You're never going to do that again.
Nope, that's it for us.
That's a very good conversation to have. It'd be like, you're the one for me.
Yep.
I don't want to do that again.
No, this is it. We're done. Like,
that's awesome.
You're stuck with me.
You're on the same page with that.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's like, or like go to a certain restaurant, or a certain experience, or like I personally have never done this, but if I did do it, I'd be like a one and done, like skydiving.
Skydiving's fun. I've not been though. I've only been the indoor one.
I have not been. I have no desire to be. It's like, why jump out of a perfectly good airplane?
You could land the plane. Yeah,
exactly. Now, if I had to, like, it's a part of your job. Like if you're in the military or if you're a professional skydiver, like, okay, I get it. But like as a recreational thing, let's hurl ourselves out of a plane thousands of feet in the air and plummet towards the earth, and hopefully a parachute pops out and we coast safely down to the ground. I have zero desire to do that.
Fair enough.
So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Probably for me is getting another bachelor's degree. I don't ever going to do that again.
Yeah,
I've done it enough times.
Yeah, you're like, well, I'm good with one.
I've got it.
Then you have these people out there that are like, I have eight degrees. It's like, why? Now, that being said, I am not opposed to education. Learn as much information as humanly possible. Okay, because knowledge is power. All right. But don't feel like you need to get a degree to be like, obtain that knowledge. There's these things called libraries and the internet where you can learn a lot of information.
Learn anything on the internet.
No.
You only listen to podcasts like this one.
Yeah, exactly. You get all your information from us. Duh.
Clearly, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, because we are far superior. Yeah. But no, I agree. Like, it's like, I'm not opposed to people getting a degree.
Now, here's the thing. It's not a bad experience.
No. It's just something you'll never want to have to do
again. It's like, I don't want to do it again.
No. Nor do you have to do it again.
Nor do I have to.
Yeah, I agree. That's a pretty good one.
Yep.
I don't know. There's very few things to where it's like, I feel like I would be like, oh, I've got to do that again. Or
right.
I shouldn't say that. There's very few things where it's like, oh, I don't want to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't really have any desire to drive to Seattle again.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Like, I would.
That's why planes exist.
I would rather spend a little bit of extra money and just fly there. So, but yeah, the one that instantly popped into my head when I read that is married. It's like, I don't want to get married again.
You've done it.
Yeah, it's over.
That's like, working for you.
Yeah. Like, you're it. I picked you. You're the one.
There we go.
I don't want to do anything else.
Nice.
So, but I know sometimes, you get married too young and then you grow into different people and then you truly don't know who you're with until you spend some time with them in a home. So, yeah, but that's just personal opinion. But
very good. Very good.
I was going to say, I don't really think there's anything else.
That's an interesting question.
Yeah, because I think if I had more time to think about it, or if I really went down like my list of things, like obviously there's clearly things that you don't want to do again, but that you'll have to.
Right.
Like funerals.
And taxes.
Those
are all things.
Exactly. Funeral and taxes, like nobody wants to do those.
Right. Two certainties of life.
But exactly, those are the only two things you can really count on. So, but let us know what you guys have done where you're like, yep, I'm done. I'll never do that again.
But was it a good experience?
Or a bad one?
That's right.
Yeah, maybe it was getting your degree. Great experience. Good experience. But you're like, I don't want to ever do that again.
Check the box. Bucket list.
Done. Exactly. Or if you did something, you're like, that was terrible.
That was a bad idea.
That was a bad decision. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
But all right, moving on to our next question. Or I should say our third and final question. What are some funny insults you can think of or have been told to you?
What?
Yeah.
Funny insults that you can think of?
Yeah.
My insults always happen like after the best opportunity.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, oh, I could have said that. Would have roasted him. So.
Probably the funniest one I've heard. It's from Master Lenton. It's well, I would agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong. It's like, okay.
That's pretty funny. That's
a good one. Or your family tree must be a stick. Stuff like that. Or, sharp as a box of marbles.
Yep.
As
useful as, something.
Yeah. No, there's this one lady I follow on Instagram. She's from the South, so I think she overplays the Southern accent.
Okay.
But they go through like Southerner.
Oh, those are so good.
It's like insults.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them was, it's so cold, I even saw a politician put his hands in his own pockets. And I was like, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was really funny. But, the biggest one I can think of right off the bat is, I would agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong.
That one's clever. That one's very clever.
That one's pretty funny.
I would want to use that in my repertoire, but I don't really insult people. I just let them insult themselves by keep talking.
Yeah, most of the time you just have to be quiet, and then they write the material for themselves.
That's right. Yeah.
But I always like it when you get those like people like Master Martin, Master Lenton, super quick-witted, fast on their feet, where you'd be like, oh God, like, man, that was fast. Like I'd even process what was said to me, and you've already got an insult back at them. Like you guys
a hidden
are
strike here.
Yeah,
they're using the hidden strike tactic.
Or the people that have a way that make you feel like they're insulting you, but you're agreeing with them.
Interesting.
Yeah. You're
Wow.
just like, yeah, that's right. And it's like they're basically calling you stupid, and you're like, yeah, of course, yes, and just like, just listen, open your ears. You realize that they're making fun of you.
Yeah.
But
and insults, like certain people can do it very cleverly, where you're not just like swearing at them, right?
No,
because that's lower level.
Hey,
but upper crust insults are like witty and clever, and
they get their point across, and you realize, okay,
wait a second,
that just happened, and I didn't realize it until time was gone. So I agree. There are certain people out there that can just fire off these so-called insults, and yet they make you think, and then you realize that they basically called you stupid. But then you're like, well, they kind of got a point. So those are the best kinds of insults. It's when, you tell them that they're being dumb, but then they think about it, and then they realize that they're being dumb, and then they agree with you. So if you got a good one like that, please, drop a comment.
That's right.
Or email us, because I'd love to hear what somebody's like go-to insult is.
I'm not in the business of insulting people.
I like insulting my friends.
I like teasing my friends and stuff, but usually it's just more like I rephrase what they say as a question.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And then when it's like when you're riffing with the students, you basically, especially with the little kids, you make like a surprised face, and then they're like, what?
Yeah, my favorite was after the Super Bowl with CJ.
Oh, yeah.
CJ and Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
CJ
Resident
and Charlie
Chiefs fans
are
here.
big Chiefs fans. And every time I'd see CJ, he'd always wear his Chiefs T-shirt, and I'd be like, oh, gosh. It's like, sorry, CJ, you got to take that off. We don't allow losers in the dojo.
Ooh.
And he's like, oh, God. I was like, did you cry a lot this weekend? No, I was angry, or I was, and I love CJ to death because he can take it, and he tries to. Granted, he's like what, 9?
Yeah,
8, 9. He's very young, and everything's done in a playful manner, and he likes to playfully banter back. But then it's like, okay, class time. It's like, okay, now we got to stop CJ.
Yeah.
So that's where he's working on it. CJ, you're doing a great job, but we're gonna have to work on be like, all right. Playful times end, now it's class time. And sometimes he just kind of carries over. And
it does.
Sometimes that's my fault, but because I get him worked up. And I'm like, all right, now I'll try to
When
focus.
you get somebody worked up, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, can happen.
It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
But you have to, always within reason.
Well, and you have to do it with people that you know very well. It's like I don't do that with like the brand new white belts and this and that. Or if you just know people are just overly sensitive. You have I like to tease them in a way that can help them become a little bit tougher mentally.
It's a little competition.
Yeah. I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything. It's like, okay, I know that eventually people will not care about your feelings, and you need to know how to handle it. I do care about your feelings, and I want you to be able to handle it.
That's the two different perspectives there.
Yes.
Because you need to build up that mental and social shield, right? And you have to basically spar in order to work with that.
That's
like
verbal sparring.
Somebody who's not engaged with people socially, and then they get a comment, they break down.
Yeah. Or if somebody doesn't agree with them or slightly
they don't understand
them.
how it works.
Yeah. Yep. And just realize that sometimes it's just playful banter. There's nothing wrong with that.
From the movie Megamind, right? But now we're engaging in some witty banter. You go first. And the guy just screams.
That should have been on your most quotable movies.
I know. So
there's been so many that I've thought of since then. We probably almost need to do a revisited top 5.
I don't think we need that one.
Yeah.
I got roasted pretty bad on that.
You did?
Yeah.
On your quotable movies? By who?
By the editor. The editor put the SpongeBob gif when I was thinking, like 3 hours later.
Yeah. Those crappy editors.
Unbelievable.
Jeez, those guys.
Unbelievable.
But like Harry Potter, I quote Harry Potter a lot. I didn't think of that.
Really?
Yeah.
What's quotable from Harry Potter?
Haven't you ever like grabbed something and now you have a wand and
I've
you're
never
like
done that.
Wingardium Leviosa?
I'm more of a melee fighter, not a wizard.
Or that's another one. Like you're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard.
So anytime we go anywhere, it'd be like you're a wizard. Fill in the blank of their so and so. Yeah, Maya and I quote Harry Potter all the time.
Nerds.
Talladega Nights.
There we go.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, there was a bunch of them, but that's besides the point.
Yep.
But let us know what your favorite, funniest insult is.
Give us a couple insults.
Give us a couple insults.
We
can handle it. We can delete the comment if we want to.
I like short insults.
Yeah, well,
but most of them just go over my head.
Most of them just go over your head. You said one the other day that took me a minute, and then I was like, oh God. It's when I was talking about the desk.
Yeah.
I got a little standing desk for Shanna, and it's like, that's right, I already got one. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And you're like, basically every desk is a standing desk. I was like, oh God. I walked right into that one.
Oh, I didn't know I said that. But yeah, sometimes they just slip
out. You did. And I was all like.
Every desk is a standing desk when you're short.
When you're short. But all right, moving on to our fight scene of the week. All right, this week's fight scene, we kind of briefly talked about it last week in terms of like which one we want to do, and this was an option, so we just did it this week. We've got a Jaeger from the movie Pacific Rim versus King Kong.
What?
The reason why I didn't go with Godzilla.
It's already been done.
Did I already do King Kong?
No.
Or Godzilla versus the Jaeger?
No.
No, but it looks like the monster's in Pacific Rim.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, let's go with something else, but it's giant. So I think it'd be a far more interesting fight because they could actually fight. Like hand-to-hand fighting stuff.
What?
As opposed to Godzilla.
Okay.
Where you just like fire, whatever, breathing.
Tiny arms.
Tiny arms and just hit you with the tail. So. But all right, we got round 1.
Pacific.
In the Pacific, I guess. Around the rim of the Pacific.
Oh, boy.
We got a Jaeger. And let's just go with the one that's like the main character.
The main character robot. The main character mech.
I forgot the name of that. Gypsy. Oh, shoot. Gypsy something.
Yep.
Gypsy Danger.
Gypsy Danger.
The Gypsy Danger Jaeger versus Kong.
Okay.
All right. Who you got?
Well, it's in the Pacific.
Yeah. That's
Kong
a biggie.
does not like water very much.
No, and he already fought Godzilla in the water and
Don't use that.
Did not fare very well.
That's okay. So this is how I see it going out. Kong is naturally going to be faster in every other location except for the wading water. They're about the same.
Yeah.
The Gypsy Danger Jaeger is heavily armored, has weapons, has ranged weapons, and so it'll be able to take out Kong before it itself gets destroyed.
I would definitely agree. I think the water's the huge factor in this battle. Because, like you said, Kong would be faster everywhere else. Gypsy Danger's got range weapons, missiles, all that stuff. So he could basically just keep his distance while Kong tries to rush him. And then he just hits him with a couple of range missiles. And then Kong's already weakened at that point. And then he grabs him and then takes him out to deeper water.
Drowns the monkey.
Kind of sits out there and drowns him.
That's crazy.
So I would definitely give it to Gypsy Danger.
Gypsy Danger, round 1.
In round 1.
Victor. Round
now
2.
We've got 2 in Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
What kind of earth is that?
That's the part underneath the crust inside the earth.
Oh, so it's not an Empire State Building?
No.
So this isn't old King Kong? This is new King Kong?
This is, newer.
Oh, man.
Newer lore King Kong.
Okay.
So there, or you could, I guess you could say it's newer lore. Or even all the other ones. There's that Skull Island.
Yeah, Skull Island's.
Yeah. So we'll just say it's on Skull Island.
Okay, Skull Island King Kong.
Skull Island King Kong. The fact that it's in a jungle.
Low visibility.
Kong's got it.
Kong
Like,
can
I don't even think
swing
it's
through
close.
the trees. There'll be a surprise attack.
Yeah.
Arms get ripped off.
Yeah.
Jaeger gets incapacitated.
Oh, I think it's going to be quick, too. Because now Kong's got his range weapons, which are tree trunks.
That's interesting.
Did you ever see Kong Island?
Not sure.
It's the one with Samuel L. Jackson.
I've seen the 2010 Kong.
Okay, no, then you probably...
I haven't seen the other ones.
You should watch the new ones. They're really good.
Okay.
There's a scene where helicopters are flying onto Kong Island, and all of a sudden these tree trunks just take out the helicopters. And then you see this giant silhouette of Kong, like, rising up out of the whatever, and you're just like, oh, that was a really cool scene. Really cool scene. So I think Kong easily takes it on Skull Island, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But all right,
I mean, I'm still giving it to Kong, but I think it would be a bit more of a fight, especially with the ranged weapons on both sides. Because I don't think the tree trunks will do anything to the armor Jaeger, but I think that they'll be hit in the face. Kong will use it as a distraction and then get up and
I don't think it's
go
gonna,
around
like,
the back and
impale them or anything, but it will damage and, like, break things for sure. But it won't, like, it's not a spear.
Right.
So
basically
it's
a giant
giant club.
Club.
Yeah, he's hurling clubs at him. So, but yeah, I definitely think Kong will take round 2 on Skull Island.
I agree.
Now we've got him in a giant cage.
In a super cage.
Yeah, so there are no added you have what you have.
Okay.
So Gypsy Danger does still have, like, weapons.
Okay.
Because they're on him all the time. On it. It's not a him. On it all the time. It's not like he's picking these up and picking those up. And no, the weapons are in the machine. So he has those as well.
Okay.
So they're in a cage. Who you got?
I got King Kong.
I want to lean towards Kong, and I think I will. The only thing that gives me, like, slight pause is Gypsy Danger can, like, eject out a sword in his arm. And I'm like, oh, man, that would make it a little bit tougher. But I still think Kong, the fact that it's just him operating his own mind effectively as opposed to two separate humans trying to operate.
Mind link.
With the mind link trying to operate this giant robot.
Now, I think it'll be a long fight.
Yeah.
I think Kong's speed is going to outclass the sword.
Yeah.
But I think Gypsy Danger's armor is going to make it so Kong's attacks don't do too much.
Because he doesn't have anything sharp.
He doesn't have anything to puncture the armor.
Yeah. So he almost has to, like,
but he's going to,
he's
not an idiot. The monkey is going to basically find the weak points. And he's going to, while he's fighting this thing, while they're sparring, while they're grabbing, rolling or something, he's going to find the weak points, and he's going to realize that it's like, oh, there's 2 small people inside this thing. And then he's going to punch at the place where the people are, and he's going to take them out.
Yeah.
And their neural connection's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Because it's fried every other fight, essentially.
Yeah, that's true. I definitely agree with you. I think Kong will take round 3 in a drawn-out fight. But
of course, Gypsy Danger could get lucky, and then Kong just gets stabbed.
Yeah, I think if Kong gets stabbed in a vital spot, Gypsy Danger could take it. But if he gets, like, I don't even think if he gets stabbed, he would end the fight.
Right.
It's like Hulk. It'd probably just piss him off, and that'd have been an interesting one too. Hulk versus a Jaeger.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Maybe another time. Future
another
fight
Jaeger,
scene.
another character.
Exactly.
Another time.
But I've got Kong winning 2-1.
I also have Kong winning 2-1.
All right, who do you think would win?
Who
Kong
would win?
or a Jaeger, Gypsy Danger specifically. So, but moving on to our joke of the week. All right, this week's joke, I thought it was pretty funny.
Oh boy.
It is, what vegetable has the best kung fu?
What?
Broccoli.
Broccoli?
Broccoli.
Oh.
I thought that was pretty clever. It's one you can tell your kids. Tell your kids that one. You got any jokes?
Yeah, there's a big competition between the ocean and the beach. But do you know what the score is?
Nothing.
It's tied.
It's tied. I was gonna say it's got to be something with like a tie. It's tied. Or you could be like, why are the oceans so clean?
Why?
Because of it's tied.
It's tied.
They use tied.
You know what happens when your kid says that grandma would say yes?
What?
You say that, well, means my mom was cooler than yours.
That one's clever. That one's funny.
Works if you're a mother.
Yeah.
But you could also do the grandpa thing. My dad's cooler than yours.
Yeah. That's funny. That was a really good one. But all right, let us know what your favorite joke is and leave it in the comments.
Share with us a new one.
Share with us a new one. Hopefully one we've never heard. But I kind of find that hard to believe at this point. I haven't heard that one. That one was a good one. So kudos on that one. But now moving on to our shout outs. All right, anybody want to shout out this week?
Shout out the people that are testing.
Yeah,
this
shout
weekend.
out to the people that are testing.
Very good.
Good job, guys. People going to Adult Ninja Night.
Also a
way
good
to
time.
go. Shout out for you for, holding down the fort on Wednesday.
Right.
That seemed like it was a lot of fun.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, everybody enjoyed themselves.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, no complaints yet.
Good.
But yeah, just continue to shout out the people that continue to participate.
Honestly, we had a handful in the juniors class, and then there was 14
in adult
class last night.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Jane seemed like she was getting a little chippy, or was that just playful?
When isn't she chippy?
That is true.
Jane's an amazing student.
She is. We love her.
And she's very competitive. And this whole week has been about competition. In my opinion.
Kind of, a little bit. I would
trained
agree so.
At least yesterday and Wednesday about competition.
Yeah.
Like everything in regards to group class was like, okay, it's you versus them.
Yeah.
And then I used getting a point. I used the winner to get a drink, go get a water break.
So it's been
so
crazy hot here.
So hot.
And then, like, yesterday was over 100. Today's going to be almost 100. And then Saturday drops to 75. And then Sunday drops to 70. And then it's back up to the 90s. Mm-hmm. It's like Utah weather, man. It's crazy. It's craziness. But, yeah, I agree. Good classes. Lots of fun. Any final thoughts to leave the people with?
Compete, do everything with the idea that you're going to do it well.
Yeah. It's everybody nowadays, competition has such a negative connotation to it that we don't keep score because we don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Right.
And the truth of the matter is we're not trying to hurt people's feelings through competition, but people's feelings will get hurt because they get what they struggle with gets amplified.
It becomes passive competition too. Yeah. Because it's like you might not be overtly, me versus them for this job position, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like you don't hear anything. It's like, and then they filled the position weeks ago.
Exactly. Like
I'd rather hear that I didn't make it
mm-hmm.
because that tells me like, there's something I can improve on.
Yeah, because there's nothing wrong with getting told no, or you weren't like, hey, you need to do this better. Mm-hmm. Because now you know exactly what it is that, like, the holes in your ship. Like, that was a hole in my ship. I didn't realize it. Thank you for letting me know.
What's worse, telling somebody that they don't have enough or letting them sink because you didn't want to fill the holes in their ship?
Yeah, like I told you about the student who wasn't hired on for a job, and they actually had to call the company to be like, do I have a job or not? And they didn't even call them back to be like, hey, we're moving in a different direction.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with you. It's like, why are we not telling people that they didn't get it or they need to improve on something?
Right.
It's like, it's not an insult. It's an insult to say that, no, you're great, but we just don't want your great.
Right.
Well, wait, what?
Now, the best way to explore that competition is in the dojo.
Yes.
Because you get immediate feedback.
It's just like sparring.
It's basically sparring.
Yeah.
Everything is sparring.
No, I agree. I think
some is just more passive than others. Some is more active.
Yes.
But everything is sparring.
I definitely think competition needs to be celebrated more. Because when we celebrate everybody equally, you can tell everybody they did great, but then people know when you're just blowing smoke.
Right.
You know, it's like, well, if I did so great, why didn't I win? Okay, well, somebody else was greater.
Yeah.
No, that's true, but it's like, hey, you did a good job, but you can work on this.
This is why you didn't win.
Yeah,
this
or
is
be
why
like,
they won.
Hey, I'm proud of you for going out there and trying hard, but trying hard doesn't equate to winning.
Yeah.
You know, there's nothing wrong with trying hard. In fact, you want to try hard, but just to say you try hard does not guarantee you anything. It's like, I did my best. Well, looks like you need to get your best a little better. That's fine.
Well, what is the higher ups in TRUMOTION like to say? Does practice make perfect? Not entirely, but perfect practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
So make sure that we're working on the good things, and make sure that when we practice right, because then I don't want anybody to get their feelings hurt because it's like, oh, I've been practicing all this time, but I was doing it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
and there's nothing wrong with losing as long as you're learning from it.
Right.
Because you can't win all the time. You want to try to win all the time.
Winning feels good.
Winning feels good.
But losing is where you grow.
Losing is, where you learn. So don't dwell on your losses. Learn from your losses. Because then at that point, can you really call them a loss? You can call them you can call them a lesson or an obstacle. Be like, oh, I just had to move around this obstacle. I just saw kind of a post. I think his name is Bo Nix. He's a UFC fighter, and he went through kind of like his history of combat sports. He was a wrestler, now an MMA fighter. Well, his first year and freshman year of high school, he lost state or whatever. Then he won the next 3 years. First year in college, loses. Next 3 years of college, national champion. You know, goes into combat sports, wins like 7 in a row. Then he loses. Now it's like, okay, now it's my time to start ascending. It's like, that is a great mindset to have. It's like, man, nobody cares if you get knocked down, but everybody cares what you do after you get knocked down. Doesn't matter. Okay, everybody's going to get knocked on their ass. It's a fact of life. It's how do we react when we get knocked on our ass? Are you going to sit there and whine and cry and say it wasn't fair? Or are you going to be like, well, that sucked.
Well, I don't want that again.
Yeah, I don't want that to happen again. So how did that happen, and how do I prevent it? What were the steps,
and how do I prevent it from doing happening again?
So compete, strive to be your best, strive to work hard. And when you fail, learn. Go back, fix it, and then keep moving forward.
And if you see someone else struggling, help them.
Like, hey,
they're competing too.
I can help you with this. I used to do it like that, and then I realized that if I start doing it like this, it was a little bit easier. You can try it if you want. Because a lot of times everybody's like, I don't need to listen to them.
Especially if they're like in related industries or competing for the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I want your help?
Yeah. It's like, you don't have my best interest. It's maybe true, but also at the same time, if they're a genuine person, if you succeed, they succeed. You know, it's that whole saying, you know, high tide raises all ships. I don't know. And this is where you celebrate people's accomplishments. If you're competing against them and they win, celebrate that win because you were a part of that win and they're going to bring you up with them. Why? Because they had to compete really hard to beat you. So you had to compete up to that level too. They just were able to take it a little bit further. That's all. That time.
That's a lesson
that
for you
time.
For the next time.
Yes. And it's like anytime we do like tournaments or competitions like in the dojo, it's that day.
Mm-hmm.
It's that day. In fact, since I'm an Eagles fan, obviously, go Birds. I just saw a quote from Nick Sirianni, their head coach. They had their first like full team meeting, and he said, praise is like perfume. You can only smell it, but if you drink it, it's poison. And I'm like, damn, that's really good. You just, you spray it a little bit, you smell it. Oh, that smells nice, but you keep going on.
It's good for an hour a day.
Yep.
Maybe.
It's good for a little bit.
How much you work out.
But if you drink that perfume, that's poison.
Yeah,
it's
not recommended.
It's not good for you. And I was like, that is a great saying. I'm going to remember that. So thanks, Coach Sirianni.
Well done.
Well done. But thank you for spending the time with us this week. We look forward to spending more time with you next week. So have a great weekend and week, everybody, and we will see you next week.
Kick it with us next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.